Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live on May 25th, 2023. We are definitely having some technical issues. So, a lot of people don't know we're on this channel right now. We are traveling about 10,000 kilometers from our base in Toronto. And today we're talking about the EB5 in Canada, the comparison with the EB5 program in the US. And again, this is raw, this is live, and unfortunately, we had a scheduled live stream where everyone is watching that, but due to technical issues, we're just going freelance, freestyle, live right now, and you'll see a recording of this right after. Um, let's start. And this is the subject of today. If you're looking to go or stay in the US and obtain your green card, obviously so many applicants are in the EB5 queue, which had to go through the horrific experience of the largest EB5 escrow agent in the US being Signature Bank going under and being bought out by a rival bank before officially going under. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation in the US only insures up to limits of 250,000, leaving most of the $800,000 US that EB5 investors funds have invested exposed and creating a lot of uncertainty now and into the future. We all know how fragile the US markets and banks are and have been. Do I need to refresh you on regarding the 1980s and 90s savings and loan crisis, the 2008 and 9 the mortgage-backed securities crisis, and the 2020 pandemic crisis, and until the most recent one here in 2023 with the Silicon Valley and Signature Bank? And what about all those applicants who were on HB1 visas in the US and were laid off, leaving them in immigration limbo, which is a nightmare for anyone? The reality is the US does not want you. It's the cold, hard fact. No argument on that. Did you know that Canada has a similar program to EB5 and it does want immigrants? So it does want you. And it will offer you citizenship eligibility within 3 years after becoming a permanent resident. Today, we'll explore the EB5 Canadian program, compare it to the US program, and why it's cheaper, faster, more secure for any professionals either stuck in the US in limbo or applicants from overseas who are fed up with the investment risks in the US, the amounts, and the immigration risks. We're covering the raw truth and nothing but the truth today. So help us, the Minister of Canadian Immigration. Quick introduction. My name is Reza and I work with the Ingwe Immigration Company in Canada, helping applicants move there. Whether it's for yourself, your kids, your business, or all of the above, we do make it happen. Are you tired of immigration companies coming and pushing one specific program down your throat without providing options based on your unique profile? Instead of them deciding for you, when you're working with our office, you're in control of your own destiny. And the final decision is up to you, not us. Let me make this clear. I'm not an actual full-time YouTuber. Otherwise, I would have probably figured all this technical stuff of how to stream properly and on time better. But I work hands-on with our licensed team in Canada, working on actual applications and communicating with immigration departments and the overseas embassies on behalf of our clients on a daily basis. These videos are made for the purpose of sharing our hands-on Canadian immigration knowledge with our worldwide audience. And of course, if you're thinking about immigrating, we're here to help. Get a free email assessment with us by filling out the form down below, or reach out to us directly if you're an active immigration practitioner, such as a licensed consultant, an agency, or a lawyer. Here we go. Here's a quick crash course in the infamous US-based EB5 immigration program, if you're not familiar with it. It's an employment-based fifth preference visa that participants receive, and it was created in the 1990s by the US government. It's an economic stimulus program that allows overseas applicants to invest in pre-approved government projects which meet specific job creation requirements for specific regions in the country. In exchange, the overseas applicants, the immigrant applicants, receive a green card with attached conditions for that investment. It costs 800,000 US dollars minimum as of the recording of this live stream. The processing times for EB-5 I-52/6 immigrant petitions are from 29.5 months to 61 months as of May 2023, depending on your nationality. Well, folks, that sounds expensive and long, in addition to the uncertainty with US banks. And don't forget the 5-year residency requirement in the US after you're a green card holder to obtain a US citizenship and passport. My math isn't great, but it sounds like it could take 7 to 10 years at least. And that's if the US banks don't default and your EB investment project is actually completed and successful, meeting the conditions of your green card. How would you feel if I could tell you that you could obtain an unconditional Canadian permanent residency in 10 months to 2 years for 1/5 to 1/8 of the price, and 3 years later for your passport and citizenship? I'm not kidding, folks, when I say this, but anyone working or was working on an HB1 visa in the US, or if you're an overseas applicant or investor planning to invest in the US EB5 program, can easily, any of you, afford the Canadian equivalent. It's simple, it's cheap, and it's straightforward. As long as you know what you're doing, and don't forget that the Canadian passport is the only English-speaking country which does not require a visa or even an ESTA to travel to the US, and has an E2 treaty privilege, as well as ex-NAFTA, or now known as CUSMA, in place between the US and Canada. So now you're asking, Reza, tell me more. Is this too good to be true? And it better not be startup visa. Patience, patience, folks. Everything in good time. It may not be called the EB5 Canada program, although it's the same concept, but much better. In the US EB5 program, you invest in a pre-approved government project in the country. And in Canada, you invest in an eligible, active and operational business in the country, and it's not pooled together where you have hundreds of investors doing one project. It could be one investor, one business in the country. In the US EB5 program, you have to go through the fine comb with your source of funds and accumulation of wealth. Where did the 800,000 US come from? In the Canadian program, you just need minimum settlement funds and show that you've had it since the time you've applied. Folks, I'm talking about 15 to 30,000 Canadian dollars, depending on your family size. Peanuts compared to the US EB5 requirements in terms of net worth source of funds. In the US EB5 program, you may be from a country where the processing queue is long and can take years before your conditional green card is issued. In Canada, if you invest in an eligible business meeting the provincial program requirements, you can be sponsored as an executive, manager, or professional for that company within months and apply for your permanent residency directly from overseas, no matter which country you're from. In the EB5 program, you have to invest a minimum of 800,000 US dollars, which is around 1,055,000 Canadian, depending on the day you calculate. In Canada, the investment program can range from 80,000 to 150,000 US. It's simple. You invest in a minority share in an operational eligible business inside Canada within the province of your choice or the one you're eligible for. And the company sponsors you as a minority stakeholder, executive or professional, to arrive to Canada on a PR and sometimes even on a work permit while your PR is being processed, depending on the specific program. You may ask, Reza, what about language ability and education? Aren't those mandatory for Canadian immigration? Not all provinces require language proficiency exam scores, and education is not mandatory in all programs, right? As long as you have documented proof of management or work experience matching your role, proposed role, in the Canadian entity you're investing in, then it's possible. So all you have to do is make sure that your role, that customization of your role, makes perfect sense. There's at least 5 provinces in Canada where this program can be implemented. And there's at least one province which does not require language ability and or education. And there's at least one province which only requires a high school diploma. You may ask, what about express entry? I'm not eligible. So what should I do? My answer is that you don't need express entry for these programs. It's purely optional. It's kind of like a nitro that makes it go faster. That's it. You actually don't need nitros. You might be worried about what business to invest in. Well, that's where you require somebody you trust in Canada, like a brother or sister, family, to guide you. And by the way, that's my specialty as well. Day in and day out, I'm connecting with eligible businesses across the country seeking investment partners. It's a win-win situation. The company receives an investment, they have a genuine need for the position being offered. You are or could be a minority shareholder, and you can enter the country on a work permit and permanent residency basis concurrently. So let's just quickly summarize in less than 60 seconds. It's 1/8 of the investment compared to EB5 US program. It's 3 times faster. There's less uncertainty in the investment and outcome, no net worth requirements or source of funds, and you can get the fastest passport in the Western Hemisphere, which doesn't involve being a descendant of a specific ethnic group or nationality. Whether you're stuck in the US or just laid off or contemplating on why and how to make this huge investment in the US with all that uncertainty under the EB5 immigrant program, or its uncertainty with its escrow agents and the banks facilitating that, well, then the program we discussed today, that solution would be for you, because at the end of the day, the uncertainty, the investment, the processing time, it's just simply better. Wouldn't it be nice to live 2 hours drive from the US so you could visit anytime without a visa, having the flexibility of being near the US without having to invest such high amounts with conditions for your green card, and can immigrate anywhere, anytime with a Canadian passport? That's the beauty of the Canadian investment program that we call the Canadian EB5 program. And if you're searching for it and it doesn't exist, well, newsflash, the government doesn't want you to know. And they're not exactly the best at marketing, right? They've put everything out there. You just need to know where it is and how to implement it. Trick question, folks. Is this program worth it? Hint, this is a no-brainer. You don't need me or anyone else to do this for you. The information is public, in public spaces. You need to know where to look, how to find it, how to put it together, and how to implement it. That's it. Easy as apple pie. And if you're thinking about immigrating, whether permanently or temporarily, we're here to help. I can guarantee you only one point. You will know what to expect, the entire process clearly laid out for you, and all the risks identified, including costs. Our legal agreements are based on payment milestones, which are linked directly to application progression, which do not take 100% advance payment for your Canadian business immigration applications. And if you're looking for discounts, well, look no further. I know of a great website with millions of items on sale every day, Amazon. But if you're looking for results in immigration, oh, that's our expertise. No surprises, no promotions, just results. We have a $1 million liability insurance which protects you and us from fraud or mistakes, as well as a dedicated client trust account with our Canadian institutions. Our team speaks over 9 languages, and we help applicants from over 49 different countries during their immigration process. And this list is growing every day. Click the link below this video and get a free email assessment for eligible applicants only. And if you're ready to apply now, and you like a one-on-one session with me or any of my licensed immigration team members at Ingwe, you can also book a session using the consultation link in the description of this video after it's posted. And if you have questions, remember we're here weekly, live at 11 a.m. North America Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays, answering all of your questions live on YouTube, usually on Instagram and Facebook too, but we can only see YouTube questions and comments. And we're going to quickly go there, see if there's any questions. Again, we've had technical difficulties, folks. So what we're doing, oh, there's a lot of questions, so we will go through them. Mr. Almond says hello. Hello back, Mr. Almond. Okay, I'm using a far off screen, so my eyesight is horrible. Oluvakemi Ayadole. Hello. Hello, Oluvakemi. Chieneregu. Yes, special Thursday salutation to you, Mr. Reza. Thank you, Cheriagu. I'm actually in Dubai, folks, 10,000 kilometers from our home base in Toronto. And hence, we had some technical issues. So I came online late. I don't have, I had to go through a different live stream. So a lot of people were waiting for the scheduled live stream. There's a lot of technical issues. But I'm here, and Haki Verki is saying hello. Haki, thank you for joining us today. Bopare Blogs, hello. Hello back, Bopare. I do apologize if I can't read properly today. The screen is further out from my computer. My monitor has gone bust, and I have to use an external monitor. So you will be seeing my eyesight, being challenged today, let's say. Kigo Joseph says, hi, sir, live from Qatar, Doha. Hey, Kigo, nice to connect with you. We're not that far away. I think, I don't know how many hours it is from Dubai to Qatar, but we're very close. We're in the same region. Haki Verki says, please say something on Group 5 processing. Is there any new information? Haki, unfortunately, I'm not an expert in the private sponsorship for Group 5 for asylum seekers and refugees, so I'm not the right person to ask. So I do apologize for that. Michelle Wilshire, watching from Trinidad. Ooh, nice. Hello, Michelle. Welcome to our very raw, unedited, and not so fancy YouTube live talking about immigration. And we're here every Thursday. The only Thursday we weren't here was last week because I was actually on a plane ride. Kigo Joseph. Hi, sir. I received a correspondence letter now. 35 days passed since I received the letter, and reason of travel just passed 4 days ago. No refusal, no passport request. Should I be with hope? Okay, so a correspondence letter now, 35 days passed since I received the letter, and reason of travel just passed 4 days ago. It could go either way, Kigo, so I understand. So that means the purpose of your travel, the deadline was 4 days ago, so it could have been a study permit, a conference, a funeral, a wedding, who knows? uh, but what happens is it could go either way. So there's no indication that they will approve or refuse. So I cannot exactly tell you or give you any insights. I apologize for that. Oluvakemi Ayadole, thank you for all the information. Appreciate it, from Nigeria. Thank you, Oluvakemi. Oluvakemi. Nigeria, we love Nigeria. I think it's a booming economy, a booming country. We're seeing more and more applicants from Nigeria, and Nigeria will be in the top 5 source countries for Canadian immigration in the next 1 or 2 years. Michelle Walshire, I'm an office admin. Can I apply for this? Hi, Michelle. There's no requirement as long as you are a professional that can show proof of work experience. It's completely possible. So that's the beauty of this program. Let's see who else is there. Chris Y channel. Hello, Mr. Reza. I would like to ask the percentage of refusals of study permits in Saudi Arabia. Actually, there's something I can give you. This is the official statistics. I'm going to give you Y channel. I love the question, by the way. It's excellent. I want to let you know, refusal, refusal, refusal. Hold on. There's an official one that I like to give you guys. Yeah, I do apologize. I am so not good today in terms of being smooth. Okay, I'm just going on the refusal data. I'm going to go Saudi Arabia. It's all online, folks. It's all online. No need to worry. Oh my God. Can I search for it? Saudi. Yeah. Saudi is 1,008 study permits were applied, right? Uh, and 709 were refused. So we're talking 70% refusal. So it's high refusal. Y channel. So I do apologize for taking so long, but this information is out there. It's on the IRCC website. There's no, remember, folks, there's no information in Canadian immigration which is exclusive to one person or one company, or somebody can tell you, I know something nobody else does. Everything is out there. Okay. That's why we like to share the information, because we want to teach you how to find that data. So if you search Y channel for this, you put IRCC CIMM, so it means citizenship and immigration, student approval rates by country. And this is as of February last year, because governments usually they're always lagging 1 or 2 years in official statistics. So I hope I've answered your question. 70% approximately refusal. Abu Bakr Maksamed, hello bro, welcome. Thank you, Abu Bakr. Abdullah, hold on. Okay. Amir Shekari, will you please define what open work permit is? Amir, an open work permit is a work permit where it does not state a employer or an occupation on your work permit in Canada. Okay, so meaning it's open is it can be in any legal occupation. Okay, so except certain weird stuff that I'm not going to talk about, and it can be with any legal employer. Okay, so a closed work permit usually means there's a specific employer on your work permit and you can only work for that employer. And an occupation specific work permit, which could be an open occupation specific work permit, has a very specific occupation. Closed work permits will always have a specific occupation and a specific employer. Okay, and there are open work permits that are also occupation specific. So when you have an open work permit, you have the option of even not working. In a closed work permit, you have to be, unless if you're employed by a Canadian entity and it's not, you're not an executive or the owner of that company, you have to work full time for that company. Otherwise, your status is, goes away. And with an open work permit, you could be at home watching Netflix, or you could be watching me, and that means you can work part-time, you can start your own business, you could work for somebody full-time, you could work for 10 people full-time. You could not work. You could go back to your home country and come back later if you have a visa and your work permit is valid. So I hope I've clarified that. Oluvakemi Ayodole, sorry, I will message you privately because I need your services, but please don't charge me that much when I do. Oluvakemi, I charge the same to everyone. Okay, and this live is not about charging you or giving you my prices or telling you to come over. We're here to help. We're here to answer questions. We're here to provide information to the public. Okay. But in terms of what I tell clients when they want to become a client and our service fees are outside of their budget, we tell them, well, you can always book consultations with us, right? And we can help you on an hourly basis. They have questions, maybe they're doing it with an agent or they're doing it on them, by themselves. They can always come to us on an hourly consultation. Just ask your questions. So don't worry. Chris Y Channel says, what would be the address used in online applications if I'm in Saudi Arabia working as thanks, Mr. Reza, for that data preservation in Saudi Arabia.
So you said, what should be the address used in online if I'm in Saudi Arabia?
If you're applying, you put your residential address in Saudi, so that's fine. Unless you're applying for something else from inside Canada, but if you're applying from outside, you put your actual address.
Osman Abdul Qatar. Sorry, Qatar. Hello, this is Osman from Doha. Hey, Osman. I have a startup idea, 50,000 Canadian, IELTS 7. Me and my wife, we both are business graduates, having worked experience for about 9 years in Bangladesh and Qatar. Okay, sounds good. Osman, you could be just you. You can't be, obviously when you apply or your wife applies, the other is a dependent. So you could be a sole founder, just running your own startup and making sure you've got progress because, startups, and there's a lot of discretion in that. Requesting assessment for evaluation.
Yes, Osman, as long as your idea is innovative, scalable, and will bring economic benefit to Canada, you can support the startup and you will have traction and progress by the time IRCC in a year and a half looks at your application, then it's okay. But again, 65% approval rate. If you've graduated in the last 10 years, then I would suggest the Startup Visa Provincial Program, which is much more secure and there's certainty with that program. But, anyways, we have clients under the federal program, provincial program, non startup, plus startup. But at the end of the day, it looks like as long as your concept is there, you can get an endorsement from a designated organization, which is, if everyone knows, that's pretty easy these days.
Definitely not rocket science. Chris says, thanks for Mr. Reza for the data. 70% refusal in Saudi Arabia.
Yes. And the reason for that is, newsflash, nationals from Saudi Arabia, if they're coming to study or whatever, they get 100% approval. It's the expats that get refused. Why? A lot of mature students, and the fact that you're not permanent in that country, they look at your home country where you were born, or that's where they look at your ties, and then they look at what you're doing in Saudi. And if you're mature, they will refuse you 100%. Mature being you're over 24, 5.
Abdullah, hey Reza, Bilal here from Dubai. Hey, Bilal, how are you? Please, when you're okay, please check mail. We're waiting for your reply. Thanks.
Okay, Abdullah, Bilal, for sure, for sure. It's been a hectic day. I had some meetings in the morning. I was driving around, Dubai too, and then I have to pack, and then also I have meetings right after. But I will reply to you tonight. Okay, Bilal? Nice to see you online. I'm glad I didn't reply to you. You know why, Bilal? Because you actually had to come on our YouTube and say hello. No, just kidding.
Nice to see you. Expect a reply. Kigo Joseph, is it a must that BVL holders, BVI, is that BVI? My eyes are so horrible today, have to receive a response from IRCC because I'm almost giving up. I'm almost giving up. BVI. Okay, is it a must that a BVL holders have to receive a response from RCC because I'm almost giving up? Um, okay, I don't know what a BVL is. What is a BVL, folks? I'd love to learn what a BVL is. So sorry, Kigo. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Abdullah says, thanks. May you get well soon. Oh, okay. You mean Bilal. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Bilal. Chris White Channel. Since high percentage refusal of student permits, study permits in Saudi Arabia, can I have your recommendation or suggestion? I have already a letter of admission and paid full semester tuition fee, but I'm an expat.
Chris, it depends on your age, education gap, your progression, career progression, the program you're doing, your ties to Saudi, your ties to your home country, employability, assets, financials, travel history. Voila, 30 seconds study permit assessment.
If you like some help, reach out to us, but be ready. This is a high refusal region. Chinyeregu Ebube, BVL, I guess, meaning biometric validation letter.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Chinyeragu. There's so many abbreviations. BVL was the first time I've ever heard that abbreviation. The biometric just means they're actually starting to process your application. Unless you do a biometric, they're not even going to open your application. There you go. So when you did a biometric, then you just went into the standard processing times. Um, yeah, that was for Kigo. So thanks, Chineragu, for explaining that. And Kigo, I just answered the question. Thank you. There's a lot of good teamwork today. I like that. Amir Shikari, excuse me, Reza. I have another question. No need to be excused. That's why we're here, to answer your questions. I do apologize. I have to like zoom in at the screen. I'm horrible. Do all Iranians entering Canada before February 2024 liable of getting open work permit eligible for getting open work permit? And is it logical that a 1-year college visa to change to open work permit? Yes, it's logical because you got a 3-year open work permit, but with a college degree, you get a 1-year postgraduate work permit. So, and usually why are you studying 1 year college? Typically, it's to get a postgraduate work permit or stay in Canada. The 3-year open work permit for Iranians, nationals inside Canada, allows you to work and not even study. And yes, anybody coming into Canada who has an Iranian passport, not even coming in as an Iranian, only an Iranian passport, who has valid status in the country, okay, can apply a valid passport, valid status, can apply for an open work permit from inside the country, can apply. There's really no requirements. And it's free. They're not even charging you biometrics or the $255 for an open work permit. So, Amir, as long as you have a valid visitor visa and you have an Iranian passport, you're inside the country, you apply, 4 to 8 weeks, you get processing and a 3-year open work permit. Voila, there you have it. It's like magic, right? So no worries, everything's fair. You just need that visitor visa. Or if you have a study permit with a visitor visa, whatever you do, if you're inside or you're coming inside, you're an Iranian, and you've got a valid passport, valid status inside the country, you're good to go, okay? Thank you, folks. Thanks for everyone to join us. Almon Oluvakemi, Chinyeregu, Hagi, Vergi, Boparal, Kigo Joseph, Michelle Wilshire, Bilal, Chris White Channel, Abu Bakr, Amir Shikari, of course, Oluvakemi, and so forth. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Again, I came in online way too late, 30 minutes later than original schedule. We came in the wrong scheduled stream. I had to go live hardcore. And if you notice, I don't have my typical box or frame with all the little marketing things in my live. We just came in raw, hardcore today, okay? Chineregu, Amir Shekari says, thank you very much, no problem. Chineregu, Ebube, thanks a million times. Stay blessed. Thank you, Chineregu. Chris White Channel, I'm 52, college graduate, no travel history, applied and approved 2-year program in Canada. Okay. Yeah, Chris, it's gonna be a tough one. I'm sorry. That's gonna be a tough. You need to be as lucky as winning a lottery ticket. That's how likely it is that I give you a 3% chance of approval, but that 3% could happen because if you're super, super lucky, right? Yeah. So, and you're not from a visa exempt country, so you're an expat, the age, these are all, unfortunately, I'm sorry to, give you this bad news. I feel like those doctors or surgeons who come into the room looking at the x-ray and be like, I've got some bad news, please sit down. I'm sorry. Michelle Wilshire, thanks for the info, no problem. Kigo, thanks a lot, sir. Chris, thanks anyway. No worries, folks. Take care. Next Thursday, I'll be back in Toronto, regular, with my hardware and the standard stuff, and I'll be on time, I promise. Okay, folks, see you later. Take care. Next Thursday, we're here live answering your immigration questions. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in the world. Take care.